Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Kuindoswa kwemasoda Mnangagwa pamwe chete nakudata gwere kukonzeresa hondo munyika yeZimbabwe. Tiri kuti makadi mana nyika yeZimbabwe kusangana zvekare pano pa TV yenyu pa chivhitivhiti patinenge tichikupa nyaya dzinenge dzichiitika munyika yeZimbabwe dzakasiyana-siyana. Tauya takakuverera nyaya hombe nyaya huru asi isusu tisina kwakareba kwatichange tichienda nemi tichangokuzivisai kuti zviri kuitika. Pane hurukuro hombe pano inova yakakosha kwamuri kuti munyatsonzwa kuti zviri kunzi chii, nekuti isusu hatizokwanisi kuexplaina zvese but tiri kuda kuti tikunzwisei. That's why tatouya tichakusiyai makateerera kubva kune nyaya dziri kuitika, nekuti muri kuziva kuti kune conference iri kuitika kwaMutare, kune nyaya dzedhosiya rakaburitswa naChiwenga, kune nyaya dzakasiyana-siyana dziri kuitika. Saka ndichakusiyai makateerera kubva kumakomrades ari panapa. Monzwa kuti zviri kufamba.
These are long letters and long replies, which we cannot really go much into detail, apart from the fact that you see, of course, expressions of frustrations with the Zviganandas, and of course a response to say that you see these are the people who have been supporting
So in
Zanu-PF.
expression with Zviganandas, right? Sorry, I don't speak English anymore.
What did you say?
I said I'm sorry. I don't speak English anymore. I said
yeah.
In
what
expression.
Did you say?
Wait, Hulu. In expression with Zviganandas, right? What happened in Mutare right now, right? In Mutare, was that so now it's sold, right? It's solid.
No, Mutare is still, a developing story. Mutare is still happening up until Friday. So don't worry about that. We are still observing the developments there at Mutare, and then we'll be able to report on it, right?
But Hulu,
Sorry.
you must understand that
Comrade,
what happened in
1 second. Sorry, Paiva, 1 second. Hulu.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know from Zanu-PF people, if they can help us here, that when this conference is happening and people are voting and what do you call it? Saying putting up their favorites and things like that.
No, there is no vote at the moment.
Okay, so it's
This is not voting, a congress. Right? This is a Zanu-PF conference.
Are these? Oh, it's just a conference, but
yeah.
speech kaninga chitwa, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Saka, it's sort of an advertisement session.
You can say so. You can say so.
Right. So now look at what's happening. Since we've had President Mnangagwa. You saw that post about how Zimbabwe has been seen as the best place to go for holidays, right?
Yes.
Look at all that advertisement. You're telling me not anyone is going to speak about that? Well, and then people will be swayed.
Look, Bosalani. You see, there are complete differences. Between President Mugabe and President Mnangagwa. For the record, not even a single member of the Politburo and Central Committee and all that. We recognize the way. They've been recognized now. And during the time of President Mugabe, you never had an entire army of over 100 leaders of the army being, thanked with cars and gifts. You see, like what we see now. At that time, when President Mugabe was in power, the products were missing on the shelves of Zimbabwe's shops. So when we stick to the facts, it is important to speak about things that are reality. The reality of the matter in Zimbabwe is that currently the shops are full with everything. Currently, there are no fuel queues in Zimbabwe. Currently, you haven't got a runaway exchange rate in terms of the ZiG, because you know what the Reserve Bank has made it very scarce. The ZiG itself is very scarce. It is still a currency that is not widely used by the people, but it's very scarce and making it difficult for the value of the ZiG to fall. Again, during the time of President Mugabe, Zimbabwe had absolutely nothing in terms of reserves. reserves at the reserve bank. Today, Zimbabwe has almost 1 billion in terms of reserves. And let me tell you again, in terms of Zimbabwean produced products during the time of President Mugabe, we were running at around 25% to 20%, at most 30%. Today, the number of products produced in Zimbabwe that you find in Zimbabwean shops make up almost 65 to 70%. There are Zimbabwean products. You now see a greater export drive when it comes to things such as your chibuku from Zimbabwe, your mahel from Zimbabwe, your maputi from Zimbabwe. When you look at your leather from Zimbabwe, when you look at that,
Blueberries.
the numbers are up, no doubt about it. And again, if you look at the balance of payment, if you look at, say, for example, the gold production, well, the Second Republic has been a bit lucky now that you see we have got gold has shot up to 4,000. Is it $4,000 per ounce? I just need to verify that number, and that has made Zimbabwe's exports much bigger. Can you see? So in terms of
Don't forget the sanctions have been removed, some
yes,
of them,
yes,
right?
yes, all that. And now Zimbabwe also being rated like the top tourist destination. The infrastructure itself, in terms of the roads, if you look at it, for those who come from Chireti, for example, you see the Tanganda Tungundu Road, it was undrivable during the time of President Mugabe, completely finished. And today, it was repaired and people are able to drive cars on that one. The road between, Nika, Roy going to Masvingo as well, Gutu, was completely terrible. But now there is some effort to repair it. The Bed Bridge, road and all that. So the
And the new
interchange,
parliament,
yeah,
the new
the
parliament.
interchange and stuff like that. So there's no doubt, when it comes to the issues of the situation is not as dire as what it was during the time of President Mugabe, and the government is not broke. That's the main thing that I can tell you. The government does not look broke, is not broke, and is able to show people that it has got the money. What is lacking currently is that the salaries have remained terribly low than during the time of President Mugabe. But during the time of President Mugabe, people would receive their salaries late. You'll find out that there were a lot many months where people would not receive their salaries on time. And now it doesn't happen. People get their salaries, although the salaries are still regarded as meager. So what I'm saying is, you see, when you look at it in terms of the fundamentals, economic fundamentals, tourism, and all those other things, agricultural output itself, record production of wheat, record production of tobacco, and all that. So the situation is not dire in Zimbabwe, but people still believe that it can be better, and they are still not happy. And I think the majority of people are not happy. And if you ask me, how do I think
Yes,
that
but
the
but
majority of people are not happy? I can tell
yes.
you, it is because of the sentiment wherever you go. Where be it you are in a bus, in a taxi, on the streets, and things like that, and the number of bodyguards that our politicians are walking around with indicate to you, that is an indication that they are not confident of what they are delivering to the people. If you are confident of what you are
Yes,
delivering to the
Hulu.
people, you
Sorry,
cannot walk
Hulu.
around with 200
Yeah.
bodyguards. Do you understand what I'm
No,
saying?
I hear you, but
Yeah.
remember, this is a Zanu-PF conference,
Yeah.
and what I wanted to show you is, you see the way you explained everything so beautifully about how Zimbabwe has changed from the time of Mugabe. Now, this is a Zanu-PF conference. They're definitely going to be speaking about the same things you've just spoken to us right now. There's not going to be the mbuya vanotengesa madomasi kumsika. It's this conference vachataura kana kuti ma teachers, ma lecturers eku-UZ vasiri kubhadharwa mari yakakwana, the nurses and the doctors at this conference. They're going to be people who are in, remember, this is a government, their party is the current government, right? So they're going to be telling these stories, these pampering stories of how they've made it. Now, if you go to a place like that, you're obviously gonna say, kudata gwiri anodhila nepetrol saka petrol tukiiwana kuna shortage because ndo area yake. President vaisa Zimbabwe on the map, people are coming to visit us, and UK wants to engage with Zimbabwe. Now you tell me, what are they gonna say about VP Chiwenga and what he's contributed besides going to the Pope's funeral?
No doubt about it, Bosolani. No doubt about it. That's the reason why you see, even among opposition political figures, there's division there in terms of what to do. I think people have already noted the statement coming from Advocate Nelson Chamisa himself. Information coming from others, including Freeman Chari. Including Charlton Wende. Dubeko Sbanda. And advocate what nickname do they give him again? Advocate what they I've forgotten the nickname that they give him, that other advocate. You know him, right? I actually know him by his nickname than his real name. So I just want to say to the people that the situation, without a doubt, is not at the level which we want, but I do not think that the situation is at that level where people can believe that they can be galvanized to overthrow the government. At this particular moment, I don't think so. And simply because the government has got the money. The government has got the money. You've seen Wikno Chivayo, Jar Praiser during the time of President Mugabe was not as rich as what he is. My TT was not as rich as what she is now. If you look at every other individual you can talk about who has received gifts and things like that, they've become richer during the time of the Second Republic. So if you go to Charles Charamba's
There are
house,
more opportunities now. Yeah,
if you go
true.
to Charles Charamba's house now, you'll see that he's richer. If you go to Jar Praiser's house, he's much richer, perhaps even 10 times richer. And across the board, you have seen how this Second Republic has been acting. The behavior of the Zviganandas in terms of them showing off money and behaving in a manner where they don't look like they respect the people. It's not something that people really like. But there was a time when Wikno Chivayo's car was claimed in Harare, and groups of youths actually surrounded that car and said, please do not do that. Allow this guy to go. So I'm saying that the mood in the country is not that adversarial. You can't say that the mood in the country when you walk around the country is such that the youth are able of galvanizing themselves without a leader, and all of a sudden they say let's go and overthrow the government. However, if free and fair elections were to happen in Zimbabwe and there is an opposition political leader effectively running his political party, I still believe at this particular moment Zanu-PF has not done enough to defeat the opposition in a free, fair, credible election. I still believe that Zanu-PF can lose that election in a free, fair election. Because remember, I was in Malawi recently, I learned something there. If you look at the roads in Malawi, Malawi was laughed at by President Jacob Zuma of South Africa, who made a joke and said, do you think this is a highway somewhere in Malawi? And those people, they felt so humiliated by that, they started fixing their roads. They now have more interchanges than we have. Well, their interchanges might not be as robust as ours. That one of ours. But they have done their interchanges. They've done their roads in Malawi. But you know what happened? The president who finished all those projects was voted out of power in Malawi because he concentrated a lot on infrastructure projects, and yet the kwacha's value was falling like nobody's business. He borrowed, you see, in 2019, the president who was there, Peter Mutharika, this old man, people did not even like Peter Mutharika. When I spoke to one journalist in Malawi, he told me, that you know what? If you want to see how Chakwera was so terrible and bad to us, you must know. You must look at what we have just done. We have voted back somebody that we didn't want. So that must tell you in terms of how terrible Chakwera was. But if you go to Blantyre now, you go to Mzuzu now, you go to Lilongwe now, you go to which is Zomba, you see, and you go to many others of their places there in Malawi. You will be so surprised that there has been some notable progress there in terms of especially the roads, road signs, road
But
signage, electricity and things like that. But they still voted him out of power because of that. So do not think that by doing all these things that Zanu-PF is doing, it is my personal learning process, learning from other countries and visiting them. I'm telling you now that people don't really vote on the basis that you have put up a road, and we can see that road. No, people vote on the basis of, can I manage to feed my family? Can I take my children to school? Can I be able to pay? When I arrive at a health facility and things like that. People are more worried about their daily lives. That's the reason why, Comrade Pivapo, before you, I'm gonna end now. That's the reason why you find out that there are still people, even though Tendai declared during the GNU that Zimbabwe had only
I thought it was my
$217.
turn.
Had $217 Zimbabwe in its coffers. Now we have almost 1 billion. Look, but many people will still tell you that the GNU was better because they were getting paid high salaries during that time of the GNU. And yet the roads were not really attended to. You can't really look at a bridge that was fixed during the GNU or a building that was put up like some of the buildings you see in Harare. Look at the Millennium City that is coming up in Harare. And the proposed Mall of Zimbabwe and many other buildings, including Philip Tiango's buildings coming up near Chitungwisa and stuff like that. Clearly, you can see that there has been a lot of building taking place in Zimbabwe. Like at no any other time have we seen something like that. But
Hulu,
unfortunately,
Hulu,
the people, when they
Hulu,
vote,
on
they don't
Friday,
vote
are you going to be
according
there
to
on the
that.
space?
Hot seat.
Hulu, Hulu,
Yes.
are you going to be there on the ground on Friday?
Hot seat Empire. Let's move with the speakers now.
Wait,
Let's move with the
Hulu.
speakers now.
Can I speak, please? And then I can
Let's
go
move
and
with
do
the
my own
speakers now. Hot
business.
seat Empire. All right. So Flora Ramai, comrade. I don't know what Comrade Pyrapo wants to say now.
I wanted to
So
just say we will be in a perpetual cycle of changing leadership if we don't understand that if we circumvent the economic activity to ensure that our pockets or bellies are full, we are forsaking 20 years down the line looking for new leaders. We have to bear the pain of ensuring that we stimulate our economy and at the same time try and look for FDI to come into the country to create employment. The government is not resourced enough to ensure that the guy who welds at CSO has got a salary. It's the private sector that must do that. So we need to make sure that our road network is up to scratch so that things can move up and down the country. Economic activities can start to happen. Even in Malawi, Mtarika will be a problem very soon because he can't serve two masters. Either he has to continue with what the previous president was doing, building infrastructure. Then at a later stage, someone will come in and deal with the currency issue.
Right. Mokoma, hang on.
yeah, hot seat.
So
We want to end. So okay, it's fine. Hot seat. You can ask him because I just want to go to Flora Ramai also now. But it's fine. Hot seat. Go ahead. No problem.
you know what, Hulu? A lot of the times these people come as ghost accounts, right? So Combra, this guy, right?
Who?
He's not.
Comrade Pyrapo is not a ghost account.
What's his name?
I know him.
Okay, what's his name?
No, he's not
What's
a
his name?
ghost account.
Is that my sister Hot Seat lacks information. So some of her
Okay.
assertions
Why
are
he's a ghost
He's
account
not a
because you
shooting in
don't
ghost
the
know his
dark.
account.
real name. He's a
No,
ghost account.
Okay, it's fine.
Comrade Pyrapo, when did you become a ghost account, my friend?
He's a ghost. If you're assuming a
No,
name,
if
you're
he's
not
not
yourself.
using his name, that's right.
That
Yeah,
is
you're
on my
right,
birth
actually,
He's
hot
a
that
seat.
one.
ghost.
He
Pineapple
is
is
a
on my birth
ghost
certificate.
because he's not using his real name. Ruramai
What is
and
my
hot seat are
name?
right.
What is my real name?
It's not
If,
Paivapo. Paivapo is when you want to hear Ngano,
if
okay?
someone is called God knows, why can't I be called Pineapple?
All right, Comrade Pyrapo, they say you're a ghost account. You know, hot seat empire can be very, very, very tough sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. It's not funny. It's annoying, and I want when we,
Why
Hulu,
are you? Because you don't know my name.
She says it's annoying.
In it today, I'm on hot seat side. Hot seat, I'm on your
Lion
side.
King. The
The
Lion
women
King
need
is
to
here.
stick
Lion King.
together.
Listen,
Epamakosi
Rudo,
vakapesipiki rangu
Rudo,
pamakombera
listen.
anyonzi
Lion King
paivapo.
is here. Lion King. Government power is here.
Hulu,
Costa
wait,
Cano.
Lion King is also a ghost account.
wait.
All right. I get it. Rudo. I get
No,
it.
it's
But
okay. Anyways,
don't
Hulu,
be annoying.
energize.
Don't say it's very
Hulu,
annoying.
wait. Hulu,
Okay.
wait. Okay. Hulu, energize one. Okay. Simple. And because I'm close to Hulu, I energize one wangu. Okay. Simple.
No need to be
It's not funny, Hulu.
confrontational. Deal with
Government power,
the
they say you're
submission, not
annoying
the
in Lion
message.
King because you ghost accounts. You know?
Iwewe paivapo uri kukonzeresa panapa chingodropa
Hulu, stop
mani.
laughing. It's not
All right.
funny,
All
honestly.
right. I
It's not
get it.
funny. Okay.
Okay. I
It's not
get it.
funny.
I
Okay.
get it.
It's
Okay.
irritating. Okay.
All right.
But
Hot
Okay.
but
seat.
but hot seat, have you noticed masekera neta huru ali contagious? Anoda kuseka sekuti unotoseka chero wanga usingade useka.
Hang on. But Barcelona, I want to ask you. You said Hulu, I know, you came for him, okay? And
Come
okay,
on. No,
okay,
no, no, no.
fine.
We
Okay,
can
okay, okay,
always
okay.
fall out and make up,
Okay,
fall
okay,
out
it's fine.
and make up.
Okay,
Don't
it's fine.
worry
Okay,
about
it's
that.
fine, Hulu. Okay, eh.
We need to end on a high note, Hulu. We need to end on a high note, brother.
Yes, we need to
High
end on
note
a high
way.
note.
You're
Yeah,
lying.
Ngatiite kunge Zanu-PF inoregerera ichiaccepta vanhu back
I
in.
I am the god, vanguard of Hulu.
all
Okay,
right, hot
so
seat.
it's all the way.
Hot seat. Let me tell you something. I
Well
never
done.
take
Well
things personal. Even if I fight with somebody, I never take things personal. Let me tell you that. After 30 minutes, I'm already over with it. I can be very angry and I say things and all that, but sometimes I can even delete those things after 30 minutes. As long as somebody talks to me and say, but why are you guys fighting? I'm already feeling very bad and I go and cancel everything and
And
I move
Hulu,
on.
and you said a lot of those things for that South African space. You said a lot, Hulu.
You see, that lady ended up even blocking me, the Dula lady, and I was talking to her on the phone. I got so frustrated with her. I said, no, the
Urukutaura
way
iwe
you hate
Dudula ere?
Zimbabweans. No, 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 no,
Is
no,
it the
no.
Dudula one?
We cannot
see,
have it.
Hulu,
The leader
how
of the
you are
Dula.
articulating the happenings in Zimbabwe.
So,
You would think that reality is on this space. I asked Grok the other day. There are only 321,000 Zimbabweans on Twitter.
Iwa Grok
There are
is not a real
16,
person.
there
so you
are 16
trust
million.
Grok?
No, yes, I trust that on that number because
Hulu,
it's an
just
account of
wait.
X.
Hmm?
It's Elon who gives those numbers. There are 16 million Zimbabweans. So
I'm
sometimes you get
starting
the
to
confidence
believe
in
that
your heart
Paivapo
to
uses
believe
Grok
that
before he comes to submit.
Hang on, listen.
to believe
Wait.
you
Rudo,
would
you want to
believe
make
that
us laugh, right? Okay, go ahead then, Rudo. Usakonzeresa. Usakonzeresa.
punza
Ndiwe
msika
unondizishona iwewe.
vhura hombe.
Rudo.
No. Hot seat. Chimbotaura Zvigananda again. Can you say that word for us one more
It's,
time?
the thing is, Hulu is just cordial, and he thinks no, Hulu, stop
Crash out,
fighting. Okay, it's not funny.
crash
Okay,
out,
thank
hot
you.
seat,
All
Hmm.
right, all right,
crash
hot
out.
seat. All right, hot seat. Shut up now. Okay, right. Do you want to answer to that?
We said what? I can't hear because you're laughing,
Kana
Hulu.
usina kunzwa gara wakadaro. All
Sorry,
right.
guys. Ndinechikumbiro before I go.
Yes.
Can Hot seat just say Zvigananda word one more time?
I don't.
No, 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 no. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's go to Flora Ramai. Flora Ramai, make it a balanced submission now. As we are winding up, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me, Hulu at Pachiso Life, and thank you for joining Rozobo, the Hot Seat Empire. We were, of course, with Homeboy, bus driver. And this, of course, is about our people. It is about our country, Zimbabwe. We can laugh about it and all that, but this is yet another day and another hour we discuss really important things developing from our country. We need peace in Zimbabwe. We need opportunity in our country. We need free, fair, and credible elections, because that is the constitution that we agreed. In 2013, our people wrote a constitution where they say there must be an election, and that election must be legitimate. And we continue to have elections which are disputed in our country. And that is not supposed to be so. When we have an opportunity, such as the opportunity given to Zanu-PF to be in power and to run government, you would expect that you should be working hard to gain the support of the people. It is not right to emasculate your people, to use violence and all manner of shenanigans that might end up us into civil war. We don't want that, or another coup which might not deliver what the people want. We've seen it in Madagascar now. They've just made a coup there. What are the people going to gain out of that? We don't know. We in Burkina Faso, it seems like things are looking up for them, but it's not many countries where you find civil unrest and things like that, and the country becomes better. In Malawi, like I'm saying, when I was in Malawi, I had an opportunity to go to their reserve bank, to talk to some people there at their reserve bank, and they told me a lot of things there in terms of what happened in Malawi. Flora Ramai, just briefly before you come in there, in 2019, for example, they told me Malawi owed an equivalent of 4 billion. In fact, when President Mutharika came to power, this one that has now been voted into power at 85 years old, the Malawi was owing 3.7 billion. That was in 2014, and he ruled up until 2019. By 2019, Malawi was now owing 4.7 billion. So he added 1 billion in debts. And then Chakwera came into power in 2020. And now he has been voted out of power. You know how much Malawi is owing now? Malawi is now owing 10.4 billion US dollars. So he borrowed and borrowed in order to build infrastructure. But you see, as he did that, he drained his country dry, and the kwacha became very weak, and everybody started to suffer in Malawi. If you want to buy bread in Malawi during the time of Mutharika, when he left power in 2020, it was 1,000 Malawi kwacha. Now it's 5,000 Malawi kwacha. So you now need a wheelbarrow, like what we were doing in our country, Zimbabwe. And that is the reality of the country called Malawi. And we don't want that to happen in our own country, Zimbabwe. So we still need to learn from these things. I went there, and Rudolph was very angry with me because of many things there. But then I wanted to learn what other countries are doing, and I continue to learn from these countries, and hopefully we can be like Botswana. You know what Botswana is coming up with, guys, from next year? Botswana says if you have got US 75,000 to US 90,000, you can become a citizen of Botswana, a dual citizen. You don't lose your citizenship. You become a dual citizen. So I'm investing in Botswana, guys. And in 2026, I'm going to be having a Botswana passport.
I
You see?
thought you were coming in the UK.
In the UK, manje, kuzotaura ndega murumu one bosala.
The struggle is real.
Kutaura ndega murumu one sediki what city sechizi asemudzimu. Azizoitaka ndibosala. I need to be around my relatives and friends, and we have it.
Plus, you need to have your own land. It create a swimming pool. Chi. What a dzimba dzakangobatana batana.
Zvekuzoona zuva nepahwindo bosala.
Unotonzwa next door neighbor.
No, I apologize to those that are in the UK, guys. We are just creating a lighter moment. We love you, Zimbabweans, in the UK, and it is part of life. We all have to to try that. So Flora Ramai, don't insult me, Chiera. Modesta is here now, the publicist. Flora, go ahead in terms of the topic. Just briefly, let us have a laugh a bit, but at the same time, let us love our country. Right, Flora Ramai, then we go to publicist Modesta.
Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to appeal to all Zanu-PF people who normally get lost in spaces and end up having people leading them astray and choosing which leader they think is their leaders. Do not be allowing such people to come in between you and your party and telling you who is your enemy within ZANU-PF. Follow your party lines and follow in terms of the Congress that's coming up in 2027. This 2030 agenda, if it's spoken in front of you, ignore it. It's not part of the agenda in terms of ZANU-PF, right? We should not be embarrassing ourselves on spaces and making a mockery out of what we fought for since 2017. Some people here were not there, they just joined us and they feel so entitled because they pick up a microphone and become co-host in some spaces and then they feel entitled enough to tell us what ZANU-PF is about. I'm coming after, not you,
Flora,
Hulu, not
don't
you,
insult
Hulu.
other people.
I'm not insulting anyone. I'm talking to ZANU-PF, not
Let's
you
not
guys.
do
Aiwa,
that.
urikutaura nezvataxi
Ramai,
driver.
can I
I
ask a
am
question?
talking to ZANU.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.